At church, Daniel sat beside Sarah and Grace for the first time in months. The hymns felt heavier, truer. When the pastor spoke about restoration and humility, Daniel felt the words land not as condemnation but as invitation. He bowed his head, asking God not just for forgiveness, but for wisdom. The weeks that followed were not easy. Co-parenting meetings turned into counseling sessions. Old arguments resurfaced. Trust rebuilt slowly, brick by brick. Daniel cut back on overtime. Sarah learned to voice her needs without apology. They stumbled. They prayed. They kept showing up. One evening, months later, Daniel stood on that same porch, sober and steady, holding a small potted plant. Sarah opened the door, surprise flickering into warmth. "Peace offering," he said, holding it out. "I'm learning how to keep things alive." She laughed, a sound that felt like sunlight. "Come in," she said. "Would you like to stay for dinner?" Grace watched from the hallway, hope shining in her eyes. Daniel stepped inside, heart full and humble. He knew challenges would come: money worries, busy schedules, the work of forgiveness that never truly ends. But he also knew this: love, when guided by grace and accountability, could grow stronger after breaking. That night, as they prayed together before bed, Daniel realized the real miracle wasn't that Sarah had opened the door. It was that God had never closed it. And in that truth, he found an inspiring promise, not of perfection, but of redemption, one faithful step at a time. Daniel listened. He didn't interrupt. He knew how it felt when life collapsed without warning. He drove her to the nearest town and checked her into a modest motel, paying for a few nights without telling her it was charity. Before leaving, he wrote his number on a receipt. "If you need anything," he said, "call." He didn't expect to hear from her again. But 2 days later, his phone rang while he was loading freight. Grace's voice trembled on the line. "I don't know what to do." That was how it began. Phone calls turned into rides to job interviews, grocery bags left quietly at her door, and conversations that grew less guarded. Daniel learned Grace was smart, with a love for sketching and a stubborn hope she tried to hide. Grace learned Daniel had a son who collected model trucks and asked too many questions about heaven. The challenges came quickly. Social services got involved. Grace's mother resurfaced briefly, then disappeared again. Rumors swirled, judgments followed, and Daniel found himself under scrutiny for helping a teenage girl he wasn't related to. Friends warned him to step back. "It's complicated," they said. "Protect yourself." He prayed more than he slept. He wrestled with fear of doing too much, fear of doing too little. One night, after a long drive, he sat at his kitchen table while Caleb colored beside him. "Dad," Caleb said, looking up, "is Grace lonely?" Daniel nodded. Caleb thought for a moment. "You always say God puts people in our path for a reason." Daniel felt something break open in his chest. With guidance from their church pastor, Michael Harris, Daniel began the process of becoming Grace's legal guardian. It wasn't easy. Paperwork piled up. Court dates conflicted with delivery schedules. Money ran thin. There were nights Daniel nearly gave up, staring at bills and wondering if love was enough. Grace struggled too. Trust didn't come easily. She pushed boundaries, tested promises, waited for abandonment. More than once, she packed.